Bring in Natalie Gomez-Velez right now. She's a constitutional law professor over at CUNY. With more on what exactly this means, right, Natalie? Because I think for a lot of folks, you hear the term unconditional discharge. That comes with no jail time and so on and so forth, but it does come with the title now of convicted felon. Can you kind of break down what exactly that means for us?
Yeah, I was thinking about this case as it was going through, and Judge Merchan was really in a difficult position, right? Because this case had, there was a conviction, 12 jurors convicted unanimously on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records, and that was back in May of 2024. And since then, given that was then for the campaign, everything else, there were delays based on the Supreme Court's immunity decision to go and reconsider. Judge Merchan gave them the opportunity to consider all of that. And so this question of sentencing was kind of delayed. And now, there was, in order to actually have a final determination, Judge Merchan was faced with the fact that there was a president-elect, but also a jury verdict. And I think he really threaded the needle in this, in trying to, again, honor the rule of law, honor the work of the jury in obtaining a conviction, but also deal with the practicalities of now the defendant is a president-elect. And I think he threaded that needle as well as he possibly could in this unprecedented case.
I mean, talk about the timing here, because Judge Merchan also wanted to make it very clear during the sentencing today that the president-elect was given no special treatment at all. And in fact, he said this trial was ordinary. So really, how common or how rare is it to get this unconditional
discharge?
I'm sorry?
Unconditional discharge.
Yeah, unconditional discharge.
It's unusual, certainly. And I think Judge Merchan talked about the fact that he is, that determination is based primarily on the office of the presidency, on those difficulties in terms of the practical reality. So he seems to be signaling that he wouldn't necessarily have issued that sentence, but for the remarkable and unusual circumstance of the defendant being the president-elect. So it is unusual. What's important, though, I think, is to actually have the sentence, to have the finality. And that also gives, Trump the opportunity and his lawyers the opportunity to appeal in the normal course. I mean, there were all these interlocutory appeals along the way, delaying the case for all these reasons.
So can they appeal?
Actually challenging, the verdict. Now he has the opportunity to do that.
So can they appeal now, or is this kind of over?
Yeah, no, they have, and it's interesting. The Supreme Court order mentions that, right? That the state court trial, those issues, he raises evidentiary violations, all these kinds of complaints about the case, those can be addressed in the ordinary course on appeal. That couldn't happen until the sentencing happened. He wasn't, officially a convicted felon, but he also didn't have the you have to have a final determination before you can appeal the case on the merits of the case, and so he can do that now. And he's indicated. I mean, Trump indicated that he plans to appeal the case. I have to say, again, Judge Merchan handled this case as much as possible in the way that you would handle a trial for any defendant, notwithstanding the extraordinary circumstances. That said, given the extraordinary circumstances, I think he really went out of his way to be fair, to give an opportunity for all of these concerns that had been raised to be litigated. And I have to commend him for bringing this to a conclusion before the transition actually happens.
Yeah, happening 10 days in advance. Extraordinary, unprecedented. So many words we used during this entire process. Natalie Gomez-Velez, thank you again for your analysis and expertise on this issue.